fucking scene. I've been wavy, hopping at the scene. I've been rolling in my limousine. I just wanna make that money, I don't wanna sleep. Watch me dab, like a nigga, all that. Yes, I always fall up, that's a proven fact. Always so bad, but you never be on the left. I've been making honeys in the time of your nap. I've been making honeys in the time of your nap. In the fucking scene. I've been wavy, hopping at the scene. I've been rolling in my limousine. I just wanna make that money, I don't wanna sleep. Watch me dab, like a nigga, all that. Yes, I always fall up, that's a proven fact. Always hold up, but you never be on the left. I've been making honeys in the time of your nap. I've been making honeys in the time of your nap. In the fucking scene. I've been wavy, hopping at the scene. I've been rolling in my limousine. I just wanna make that money, I don't wanna sleep. Watch me dab, like a nigga, all that. Yes, I always fall up, that's a proven fact. Always hold up, but you never be on the left. I've been making honeys in the time of your nap.
Okay, I think we're live. Hello everyone. This is the first time we're doing something solo live, so if any voice, video material is not good, just let me know and we can tweak about it. Just type in the comments and then we'll take care of it. I hope you can see both views of the cameras, at least I'm seeing it back, so it should be working. Your guide today is Peter, and I will be going through all the new organizers we have here today. I mean, this whole table is filled with wood and board games. So if you have any preferences in what order we should go, say it in the comments. Otherwise, I will just take my own random order. Okay, let's jump into it. Perfect. If you're not seeing something, then also let me know. We have a wonderful crate for root, and of course 2 organizers to it. Let me grab them for you. Yeah, so root, base game, 3 expansions. We wanted to create something which fits in various boxes, so it's quite modular. Let's start with the base game, and I will show you how it's made, what compartments you have. First of all, if you see it here, right up there, it sits almost totally flush, so you will not have much lid lift. This is all base game components and the first expansion. On the top, you have of course all the, oops, grabbing a bit too deep inside. So you have all the player boards from the different factions, the rules on top of here, so they all fit in nicely. After that, you have inside the game boards, just folded as it is. It has a designated space. There's a little space gap because this fits. Sorry, there's still one piece. Small hiccups, of course. So the starting little equipments, they go in this compartment, and that holds the game board in place so it doesn't move, so it will hold everything beneath it in its position. So you have the game board here, and then you have all the little compartments for the various factions. If you have the lovely resin tokens, or I should you here, for the clearings, then you have this compartment. They just go in here nicely. You can decide the order of color, but this is it. It has the little cutouts matching the token itself if you turn it upside down. Some clearing tokens, like these markers, they're a bit wider than the space here. So we decided, I'm not sure if you can see, let me grab, yeah. So this middle wall here, this middle wall on the bottom is cut out. So if you insert them bottom first, that would fit without problem. They will not touch the wood. I mean, it will not scrape off the painting, but still have a nice space in there, fits well. So we thought about that. Then you have, of course, the various factions. The space is quite limited because we wanted to keep everything neatly organized and have it one base game box. So just a little tray for the dice, and then you start with the factions. 2 smaller ones. You have to organize them a bit more decently. Oops, sorry. But otherwise, they will just fit nicely. And they're ready to play, so you just take it out and you're good to go. The same goes in with the cats and with the lizards. If I wouldn't have messed up the box, they would have stayed in place. They will have a matching engraving on the bottom with the symbol of the cats or the lizards, so you know which box goes to which faction. We have 2 special ones because these factions have cards. So with the Eerie, here we go, I hope you see it. Yeah, it should be fine. So you have the lovely engraving of the birds, and if you slid the lid open, you have all the cards in here, and then the tokens and the figurines. So each material, so everything which goes to that faction is inside that little tray here. Same goes for the vagabonds, also engraved the top. So you just slide it open, you have all the cards in here, and the cards will protect. Yeah, this is still a prototype, or yeah, exactly. So this cutout piece, you see it here, this cutout piece goes to the vagabonds. This is something we noticed during assembly. We have to make it more clear in the assembly guide that these 2 pieces could have been interchanged, but not anymore. And so with this cutout, it will be easier to take out all the cards here. Let me grab that for you. And then you have two separate compartments for the lighter and the darker vagabonds. And then all the cards from the base game and the first expansion go in here, and also from the Vagabond pack. So everything which is Vagabond, sleeve, premium sleeves. We used here Sven Panagia sleeves, so they're all thicker, premium ones. They fit in here nicely. If you close it with the lid, just sits in perfectly, so that's not an issue. Now we have two more compartments. This with the acorn here on top. This is the basic card tray. Basically, you can just take off the lid, just loosely sits on it, on top of it. There are two holes on the bottom. I hope you see it, yeah. And there are two notches on top of here. And these two notches go in there. With that, you get like a triangle figure. And that sits on the table for you, making basically a card tray. So you just can go during the game, grab your cards, and much easier to play that way. So it's basically just put it out of the table and it's good for play. And this large double stack holder or a tray compartment, basically all the rest of the tokens, so the ruin tokens, the cardboard clearings, and the overview cards. It has also a cutout on the bottom here, just to push them out, so you have easy access. All the overview cards fit in here, also from the two other expansions, so that's also not an issue. Just throw everything in here. And last but not least, we have this gear token holder, where these little square gear tokens go in here. You just can push them on one side and then pick them up quite easily. Why is this good? Because of course on the game board itself you have this spot where they would go normally. So you just take this and put it on top and you're ready. And instead of just having to place everything there, once you have it inside the wood holder, it's good to go. How does it go into the box? Basically, just put them all next to each other. We'll soon need it for the crate version as well. And then it goes here in the cats and the other two factions. Now, the cats is the only faction which is really full. If I would have been a bit more elegant, I would have organized them, the wood pieces, instead of I just threw them in. So you have to pay a bit more attention there than I did. Yep. Oh yeah, I haven't closed the lid completely. Once the lid is completely closed, you can insert this and the regular cards in here, so everything stays in place, and then you put in the game board and the faction lids. So that's for the base game. Let me grab the expansion. I'll just push it on the side. Yeah. The expansion, you can take any expansion box. Again, also no lid lift, or like maybe 0.5 millimeter, so it's really not much. You can see it here. Just a little bit looking at the, oh thank you, looking at the comments in the meantime. Yeah, so you again have the faction boards on top. From the Automata, the solo mode versions, they go in here nicely. Again, there's a spot for the game board, goes on top, holds everything. There is a space for the card holder, only one fit inside, so with the second Kickstarter there was only one delivered, or so we will have space for one. If you have more, you can store it in one of the extra expansion boxes. And then you have one large layer of game components. Again, card tray with cutouts here, so you can just easily grab the cards, put them on the table, ready to use. another card tray with the overview cards for the solo modes from all the 2 other expansions. Then you have this faction. Again, there's a little cutout here, so you can easily grab the cards, lift them up. There you have the burrow. Oh, there's actually the little engraving. I hope you can see it, so you know which faction goes in there. There's this little piece of wood, which will then keep the burrow in place. And once you put the cards on top, it will stay there, and then all the rest of the wood tokens. So this is there, and then the last faction, again, just wood components, the tokens you need. And the last tray here for the vagabonds, the 2 other dice, the large wood pieces, the path markers, and the rest. So there's plenty of space for you to reorganize a bit, or just play with it if you like it in a different setup, play with them differently. It's up to you. And these 2 organizers together can be stored. Either you store them separately in one of the base game box and one of the expansion boxes, or you take this wonderful crate. So this is made of 6mm birch plywood, so it's super sturdy. It has the same measurements mostly as the game box. So there's maybe, how would I say it, maybe a 2-3mm overhang. So it's not that much, it's almost the same. The measurements in these 2 dimensions. In the height, of course, we needed some extra space. So let me show you the engraving. So we have absolutely thematic artwork. For the root, of course, our logo, the frame here, and then you have 2 different sides. So when you have it in your shelf, in your Calac shelf, then you can still see what game it is from. It's a different engraving here on the side. So you have the acorn there, which keeps it in place, so it will not open, the lid will not slide, and it's basically now empty, but we can fill it up. You can start either with the expansion components or the base game components. It's totally up to you. I like to start with the base game, because why not? And then the same way how you put them into the separate game boxes, you just insert them here into the crate. Yep, that will take some time. The little dice tray, this one, and here you will need 1 game board, otherwise it will not fit. And then the expansion components, and let me grab the vagabond. No, is it the burrows? Yep, it goes in here. And then we had 1 card holder rail, and that's it. And then you take just all the rest of the faction boards, put them on top, the last game boards, everything, and on top goes the lid. Maybe you have to play a little bit to have all the boards aligned, but otherwise you have it inside, closes nicely, fully. And yeah, I mean, it's now heavy, of course, but I think you have then a wonderful crafted collector's edition of Root. Okay, if you have any questions regarding it, just let me know. Otherwise, I think we can move on to the next one. Any requests? Which organizer we should discuss? Let me grab the boxes. Okay, this was Root. Okay, and let's talk about underwater cities. Underwater cities. What do we have inside here? We have the base game and of course the first expansion with the double layered player boards, because of course everything has to fit inside. Due to space limitations, I mean the box itself is not too large in height, so we had to yeah, it was. We had to let go that we can close completely the lid. So we have some lid lift here. Let me show you. There's about a centimeter of lid lift. It's not perfect, but there's always a trade-off if you want to have everything on one box. So, yeah, just play aids, rules, and then you have the organizer itself. You have two options, either put the wood organizer on the bottom or the other side, and you have every game board on top. Hello, Andras. So, what do we have here? We have something which will be quite useful during the game. This is a card holder. Oops, yep, I shouldn't tilt it openly. So basically you have all three eras here, and they're also marked with 1, 2, 3. And you can just place it on the table and you're ready to draw cards from here. And there's also the cutout. And so instead of having to play with sliding cards, which are just moving, because they are sleeved, you just have quite easy setup of cards. You have this large tray with all the game components for the 4 resources. They will fit also the premium resources from Board Game Geek, so the Geek Bits, I think they are called. Would, of course, not both, but either one of them. The 3 round resources, and then yeah, you have money here. We figured, I mean, money is not that much in circulation, so it's quite easy, and there's not much of it, so it's easy to find them. Larger cardboard parts. There's also a cutout on the bottom, so you just can press it out with your finger, and you have all the domes here. You have to arrange them a bit to have them fit nicely, but they're working great. They have also this artwork, so you have the dome form on the side, so you know what goes where. 4 player boxes, all are identical. You just put in all the parts which you will play with, and then you're ready to go. Depending on how many players you play with, you just take the box, the color, and you're ready to go. 2 more little trays, all the hexagonal city tiles. They just go in here. They are divided, so if you look at it closely again, it's this part is smaller. These 2 are larger because you have first the green ones, the blue ones, and the rest. For these, you have the little starting or like era marker, and these 10 resource markers. They go in here. Space for that, and then you have the cards, of course. There's also an engraving on both sides, so you know what goes where. The S cards, and then you have here the other cards. There's one divider in the middle, so it's quite easy to figure out, and then you're basically good to go. And then, as I stored it, game boards, the original player boards. Of course, if you take them out, that will save you a little bit of space, so that might reduce the lid lift. Otherwise, you have here the rest of the double layer game boards. Oh, these jumped out when I carried the game here. So yeah, so you can either store the game boards on top or at the bottom. I like it on the bottom because I won't take them all out, just a few, and then just easily put back everything next to each other. I mean, the cards go in one line. There's a little bit of space left, so either here or the other way. It's all up to you. That's Underwater Cities with the expansion, new discoveries inside one organizer. If you have any questions, again, just put them in the comments and I will try to answer them. Okay. Let's get to the next one now. Yeah. Jaws of the Lion from Gloomhaven, the smaller Gloomhaven as we call it here inside. Again, fully closing lid, there is no lid lift at all. I will show it in close up. Nothing. This lid closes completely, and everything has its space. I'm sure you would be happy if you have it. So, what do we find inside? So you have, of course, all the rules, the scenario books, the learn to play guide, the village map, so all the paperwork. And then, let's look inside. Of course, you have this cardboard. There's a little cutout. It's maybe hard to see. Let me check if I get a close up. So there's a tiny little gap here. Yeah, there's a tiny little gap here, which will prevent it when everything is packed from sliding around. So it has its designated space, and the rest is then covered by the rulebook and the rest. Okay, you have all the character cardboard envelopes here on top of each other. They will have all the large cards inside with premium sleeve. Oh yes, everything fits with premium sleeves. That's now differently than with our Gloomhaven organizer. Every card can be sleeved here. That's not a problem. Just for character decks as a Gloomhaven, here you can sleeve every card. Then you have here the monster cards. They have here the space. There is a nice cutout in the shape of the monsters or enemies, and there's also the possibility, if I can set it up correctly, that you take one of these monster cards. There you have the monster inside, and you just put it on the side here. There's this little wood piece which prevents it from tilting, and if you use like our Gloomhaven monster bases, which are rotating, and you can count the health points for each monster, then it's just an easy reminder what the statuses are from the monster, so it has it open for everyone. So that's about for the monsters. The actual monster tokens, of course, as in our Gloomhaven one, they are labeled, so each spot has its engraving, so you know which one goes in there. We tried to make it as logical as possible, but you will see that for yourself as well. So here we have a double stack part. This comes out, and here we have more monsters. Here we have the bosses on this compartment. They go on top of each other. And then we have, of course, some more compartments. Let's see more monsters. Also, there are cutouts on the bottom to just push them out with your finger, since they're a bit deeper than others, depending on the numbers. You have one compartment for the large general cards, with some nice decoration with the two swords as seen in the card backs. You have one large tray for all the small cards. Because the space is quite limited and we wanted to have them fit one tray, we decided to use HDF as dividers. So here they are. These dividers are made from HDF because they're a little bit thinner than our regular plywood. They will work perfectly fine, just that you know. And then, of course, we labeled each position. So when you are looking for a specific monster card deck, it's just super easy. As they grow number, the cards, they go from fewer numbers and they get bigger, bigger, bigger. As you see, here you have much more cards than at the beginning because they're just the basic cards. So you just look up, they're also alphabetic, depending after the size. It's the first filter, then the alphabet. And then you just grab the deck and you're ready to play. And then here you have the rest of the item cards. So here you have these ones, that's why the sword is there. And then modifier cards, also nice little touch here. And also cut out from the monster, so you know here are monster cards. So this is one large tray for all the cards. There are 4 identical decks. Like card holders. There are the player card holders, all the same. They have a divider in between, so depending one deck and your the other cards which are not in your deck yet. So they're just here for you to use. One large tray for the trackers, for the tracker discs. They're just fitting here. There's no wiggling. They're also not falling out. And then 2 more trays. They have an acrylic lid, so you'll immediately see what's inside. And they will also not fall out, so the lid is held by a special joint here, as you see. Yeah, and then you just have health here, monster bases, for the maps, the obstacles, traps, ability modifiers, and whatever the coins you have here. So easy to reach, easy to use. And then, as I said, here we have all the characters, the minifigures, and since there's plenty of space, so you can arrange them. So it's not like a special puzzle you would have to keep attention to. I'm just reading the comments. That just you don't have to keep attention how you arrange them. Just put them inside to that slot, and you will be covered. So that space is just for miniatures. That's all fine. So we'll won't have a problem with that. Yes, and then we have the 4 character decks. So cards next to cards. Yeah, characters. Trackers, and you have everything filled again. Comes this cardboard piece, and then everything is closed in. Maybe checked for the rings. Yeah, I'll put this on the bottom, and then just like that. Everything is in its space. Okay. That's about Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion, also released now for Spiel Digital. Any questions? Again, let me know. I'm trying to read the comments here. Yeah, thank you. Okay, shall we grab a crate? Shall we grab Through the Ages? We have Mage Knight, Orléans, we have Terra Mystica still here. We have a role player, so if no one names any game, then I'm just gonna take the next one. This is the crate for Terra Mystica. I mean, this is a bad boy. Weighs about, with game, at least 5 kilograms. For Americans, that's 10 pounds, about. But just keep the metric system for now, because it's easy for me. So yeah, this is for Terra Mystica, and not just the base game, not just the first expansion, but also the second expansion, Merchants of the Seas. So everything which is currently released for Terra Mystica will fit inside here. It has roughly the measurements of the original Terra Mystica box, but of course it has to be larger to hold everything. And also in height, we had to increase the height to fit it. The crate is a separate product from the 2 organizers. So we have an organizer, Terra Ranger, for the Terra Mystica base game and Fire and Ice expansion. We have a product for Terra Mystica Merchants of the Seas. They can be, of course, combined into the big box if you have it, the cardboard big box. It will raise the lid by 1 centimeter or half a centimeter. But of course, if you want to store them in a kind of luxurious, cool-looking wood box, then this is the one. Of course, we have matching artwork to the game with all the terrain symbols, the game name, so when you have it on your shelf, it's quite a centerpiece. Let me grab it, it's quite heavy now. You will recognize the symbol again from the tiles, and then we have some cool-looking shovels here. Let me get to you the detail cam. Yeah, all the shovels from both sides. So you have a full engraving on all 5 sides of the box. Again, one wiggle, one to open, because the shovels hold it in place. The 2 organizers I mentioned, they were already available. The crate is the new one, and you basically just stack everything on top. You have here Merchants of the Seas. Every color has its own little tray here. The new, new achievement tiles, which you can basically then set next to the existing one. Additional components. These new tiles go on top of each other simply, and then you have basically the base game organizer. You take out the workers here, and then you have access to all the faction boards. And here's the rest. And what I wanted to mention to you, that you have these, and you can just set it next to it, and then you have a full set, and it's just super easy to play with. You have the tiles for the terrain, game parts, the power tokens. You have the treasury here. It has engraving saying treasury. You can open it, and then you have all the coins in there. Y1, 2, and 5. Also sorted because you handle them quite often. And then we have the city achievements, all the city tiles. We've got quite plenty. And then of course you have the 9 player colors. Little white, you have to go back. And that's about it. How you have everything neatly organized here. Take it out. I mean, you can of course switch the positions, that you put the Merchant of the Sea on the bottom and the other one on the top. It's totally up to you. However you like to play the game, that's how you're going to organize it. If you play more with the expansion, then of course you will keep it on top. If not, then it goes to the bottom. Yeah, you know, the achievement tiles here, you have to put in this one game. Of course, there are 3 game boards, so all 3 will fit inside. So you have all 3 game boards. So you truly have everything inside the game crate. We have these ones in here. These ones go on top here. The bridges. We had to use every little space which was available for us. There is also a separate product in our web shop which is called the Razor for Terra Mystica. You will not need that if you have this crate. The Razor was intended to use when you have the big box and only the base game organizer. There would be a space on the top which is empty, but since if you have the Merchant of the Sea, then again you don't need that Razor. It's just there to fill the empty spaces. So that's about for Terra Mystica, the Terra Ranger crate from Laserox. Just to show you again the lovely artwork with the eyes on top watching us play and all the terrain types. Let me put that back onto the shelf. Okay, going to our next big boy, which is going to be Through the Ages. This is licensed with Czech Games Edition. Very cool guys there. So if you know a few of their games, this is one of the cool ones by Vlada. So we decided once the new expansion came out last year at Spiel Digital. No, that was not digital. Sorry, at Spiel 2019. We decided, okay, we have to do an organizer for that. Maybe not because of there are so many components, but there's a lot of cards, and it would speed up the setup. So if you have friends who are not willing to play with you because, oh, there were so many cards, so much setup, then you might be able to convince them, hey, but I have an organizer for it, so we can speed it up, just get gaming within a short period of time. The cool thing is about our organizer that we designed as well overlays, acrylic overlays from 2mm translucent acrylic, and either you have it or not, it doesn't matter. You can store them in here, but the organizer would also work if you don't have the overlays. So both options are viable. On top, you basically have all the paperwork, the player mats, so all the general stuff, and then we get into the cool stuff part. Because there are a lot of these cardboard pieces. You see, I tried to wiggle it, but it will not move because, of course, I'll show it in a detail cam. As you have the two, so these are smaller, the middle ones are larger. there's a little edge here which is preventing this board from moving around. And this board will also hold the overlays, which will fit in here nicely. You just can take them out, just really translucent, maybe hard to see. Ah yeah, this is how you can see them. This is just a simple overlay you can put above the player board's 2mm acrylic, so they will fit in here nicely. And then again, you have the yellow ones, also held by these notches. And then you just make your way down there. So many cardboard pieces. And once you have everything, then we got to all the wood. So, how does it work? We have 2 empty card trays. These are intended to be used during the gameplay. Whatever deck you want to put in there, draw deck, discard piles. So you don't have to think about it, where I'm gonna put the deck, it's gonna slide apart because of the sleeves. No, you just put them into this compartment. They are included already in the game. You have two identical of these cube trays. Why? Because you might have a big gaming table and 2 people are sitting on one edge of the table, 2 people on the other side, and it would be just too time consuming to always ask, hey, could you give me the tray? I need 5 blue cubes or whatever, so you can place them on one side and the other side. That works also as well for the red and white cubes. So you just have 2. There's space enough, so let's just use the space well. And then of course for the 4 players, you have this little tray here with the 4 colors. You basically just take them out and then put it on your game board. Then we go to the 4 deck holders. So through the ages, I'm seeing that we have put in the order incorrectly. Just for visibility, I've now changed. It will go normally from A1, 2, 3. So we thought we want to make, again, the game atmosphere into the game organizer. So if we wander through the ages, then let it be shown on the engravings. So as you go through the different eras in the game, you go through the different engravings on the lids of the different decks. Of course, since it's licensed, we have their logo as well on here. How is one of these boxes constructed? It's quite simple. It has a few dividers in it. It slides, and then you just organize the cards, the gray cards and the yellow ones. Why is there a middle space? Depending on your player count, you have to remove some cards, and if you already know you're going to play most of the time with 2 players, then you could put the 3, 4 player cards into this compartment. Everything is measured to be fitting with premium sleeves, which is not an issue again, and these spots or these measurements are also made in mind that they will fit the premium sleeve card count you will have there. For the individual decks, same again with the first era. You have again here the 3, or have 3 era. Yeah, mix it up. Maybe I just have to change the boxes. But yeah, that's basically it. These boxes will hold then all the cards from different eras. You're ready to go. Again, easy setup, or like cleaning up, because you just put super easy everything back into the box. And then you just go by these tiles. First the blue one, smaller, the yellow one, you put in the overlays, and the red player boards and the rules, and that's it. And it will fill, of course, the first expansion, the new leaders and heroes, I think that's what it's called. That's Through the Ages by Czech Games Edition. So let's look to the next one. Let me grab Orléans. Again, a heavy crate, because there's a lot of material for the game. how does this work? We have already an organizer for Orléans, for the base game, fitting the fan kit, and a few more of the Ortskarten, like, I don't know what the actual component name is in English, but these cardboard pieces labeled 1 and 2. I'll show it to you in the game. That's our base organizer we have already in our store. We said, okay, we want to store everything independently of edition, because the TMG and the DLP edition have a different box size. So we had some issues with that. So we said, okay, now we do one big crate which will fit every expansion. Yeah, that's it. This is also licensed by DLP. So this is an official organizer for Orléans. Again, it has, I think, an amazing artwork on the top featuring the game board actually depicted here, with the map there, and then 2 players basically playing Orléans in Orléans. So it's an Orléansception. It has, of course, again, holders to keep it in place in the style of Orléans. And since we are talking about a city, we have a city on the sides of the game board. Every edge, or like every side, is different. So this is a whole city. It's a continuous city, basically. This is how it's constructed, how we imagine Orléans, how we build it, or you can build it. There are a few extra components beside the crate. So the crate product comes with 3mm organizer parts. Let me show them to you. On the top, you basically have all the rule books, again, player boards, the bags. There are plenty of black bags that will also fit in here. And then you come to the expansion part of the organizer. So what is in the expansion organizer? These 4 trays are included. Let me grab them for you separately and explain what they do. So these are included with the crate when you buy the crates. Again, just a small little tray, holds small tokens, depends on how you want to organize it, there's space. The original the original tray, which was coming with the base game organizer, is replaced to make it taller, so it will fit way more of these tiles than it did before. So this is now everything from the expansions inside. We don't have many of the promo packs, but as you see, there is still plenty of space. So if you have many promo advents calendar and whatever more, they will fit also in here. And of course you can divide them 1, 2 as you like it. So these are 2. Then you have a little bit more tiles here, which go in here. You have these round tiles. You can put them A, B, C, D. That's the way how you can sort them, basically. And then you have these small little square tiles here. How can you take them out? There is always a hole beneath. Just even show it to you in more detail. I'll take it out, and you will see here there are cutouts. So there's an actual hole. You can put in your finger from the side, and you can just lift the whole stack. Also in the middle, there's a hole. You can lift them out, so it's quite easy to grab. You will not have much fiddling around. Oh, I need to get out the parts. Just super easy. There are also 2 little cutouts on the side. These little holes just make it easier to carry. Also, when taking out of the box, makes it much more handy. And then one last tray, also 2 of the player parts. We had some space here left, so we thought, okay, we put them here, make the whole box a tiny bit smaller, because then we don't need that much space in the top. Take them out, and then you have the cards here and the white round wood markers. Again, there's space left, so you just take them out quite easily. And then you of course have the base game organizer already here, as you know before. You have the fan kit here, so either you have the cardboard pieces, then you have, of course, plenty of space. But if you have the fan kit like we do with all the stickers, I think they look gorgeous. These walls are removable, so you can just take them out, these walls, and then just basically functions as a tray. The 5 players are in here. Everyone has a little cubicle, let's say. You just have every wood piece in here which you need. The resources, the scoreboard, and other holders for the base game tiles. So the only compartment which is replaced from the base game is this one. The rest can stay the same. So whoever has it already, no fears, you can still use it. It's not obsolete. And then you can fit it inside this wonderful crate. And again, player boards, player boards, and the rest fits into our Orléans organizer. That's about it. Again, licensed by DLP, so this is an official one. They love it as well, of course. Yeah, let's get to roleplayer before I go to Mage Knight. What is roleplayer here? Roleplayer, we have it made in a modular system. There is 1 base game and 2 expansions, right? And there is the big box variation, or like just the box, which you could buy separately from Thunderworks. We made the whole organizer system in a way that you can either have 2 boxes separately for the base game, and monsters and minions is in there, or you have the familiars and fiends and familiars. So the expansion boxes are the same, so you can have basically these 2 boxes separately. If you have only the base game and the first expansion, you just need this organizer, or if you have everything, then you can do a roleplayer big box. So you just put the 2 organizers together and you put them into this box, and you have everything in here. I have it now stored in the roleplayer big box because I like to carry them together, but again, paperwork. So these 2 fit inside one organizer, and this is a separate organizer. So let's go through that. It's again 2 layers. The top layer is the fans and familiars organizer. You have these tiles in here. Take them out. You have so many player boards up on top of here. Take them out. We don't need them now. And then you have so many card holders. Here are for the big monster cards, for the attack cards, and you can see the colors here, of course. Makes it much easier to grab the color you need. We have 3 almost identical ones. These 2 are a bit shorter because of the length of the box here, but the system is the same. Again, fits with premium sleeves. We tested again with Swan Panagia. They're also available in our store. And then, what else? This is still expansion organizer. For the new dice, both compartments here, you have an extra field or like tray there for the extra coins. You see little bumps here. They're here to connect with the tray beneath it, which is from the base game organizer. That's what I'm saying. It's a combination. Small token tray for rest with removable walls, so these can come out. Makes it much easier to access them, but whatever you like. We just made it again modular. Extra card tray. There's again a cutout here, easy to access with the backstories. Then another card tray, some extra space here if you have some extra tokens you want to store there. It all depends on you. And then one other tray, which is a combination from the base game. This is for the big monster cards and the small ones, the minions and monsters. So These two can connect. They have also this pressure system, and this is from the base game. This is the expansion organizer, and you see it here that they have this little cutout here, and there's this monster icon. I hope it's visible, and here as well there's also this little cutout here, and you just put them together and they lock together, and you can just hold the top one and it comes out in one. So this is the expansion organizer, what you see here. So again, just to recap, some large card trays, token trays for the small cards, and for the dice and coins. So this is the expansion organizer. If we put it all to the side, then we go to the base game organizer. So what do we have here? A large tray for all the dice and the bag, nicely organized. Fits all in here. This is all for dice, and I was saying earlier, there is this little cutout here, this little bump recess, yeah, and the expansion tray goes on top, so they again hold together and won't move also on the side. Just a neat little thing. Several trays again for the coins, other tokens, for dice from the base game, the translucent dice with numbers of 7, 8, 9. They go on top of each other. Why is that cool? Because there is again a little holder, so you can just lift it. And on the other side there is a little recess, and it goes in there. So again, they will lock together in a different way. As I was discussing earlier, the monster tray, the card storage, there's an acrylic lid for location and these markers, which you will use during fighting the big monsters. So that holds them in place. You see the cutout for the monster minion cards, and on the back side you have all the large cards. Again, there are a few dividers depending how you organize them. So now I have all the large monsters in here, and this is for all the score cards. So if you have only the base game, then you have them also in here. So there's plenty of space to organize it for yourself, depending which version you have. You have 3 identical card trays here on the side, again with options for dividers. How you see fit, what you store where is up to you, depending on your gaming. And I think this is really cool. This is a combination of card holders versus a card trays plus token trays. So on the top here on the side there are 2 token trays, and they will not fall to the back because there is this wall here on the bottom, and they have this slanted edge as well, so you can place them on the game board, and they'll sit nicely there for the player cubes, the experience points. Then you have 2 small card holders for backstory, alignment cards. They all go in here. Again, cutouts on the side, so for easy access. And then this is a card tray. Why is this good? Because you have so many items you could buy from the merchant layout, I think. So you just put them in here. Let me grab a few. You put them in here, and it's just much more convenient to draw them, have a discard pile next to it. I think it just makes the game much more fun to play. It's less fiddly, in my opinion. Yeah, just putting everything back together. The small card holders, small token trays, they form like this joint part here to the edge. We have the dice here, these token trays. This is for the base game, of course. If you have only the base game again, you can store here the player boards to form the base game. So otherwise, now comes the second layer of the expansion organizer, but if you have only the base game and the first expansion, you have those player boards on top here, and then they will sit flush. If you have them stored separately, there will be some lid lift in the expansion organizer due to the combination effect, how we wanted to combine the base game organizer and the expansion organizer, due to joints, some millimeters of lid lift, just that you're aware if you store them separately, so it doesn't come as a surprise. And the card holders here. Oh, I didn't glue that one appropriately at top of here. Yep, I need to grab the monster tray. Grab this one first. As I said, these two join together, click together, and then monsters and minions are in there. Right. And the last tray is in here. And then again, layer boards on top. And these small ones, they have to be divided in 3. Put it on top. And you are basically ready to put the game away. This is Role Player for the big box. 2 separate organizers being combined in one. And I think we have one last organizer left, which is Mage Knight, the Ultimate Edition from Vlada again, produced by WizKids. So, yeah, this is the huge box. The box itself does not fit into a calyx, but the organizer can again be stored vertically or just regularly. Doesn't matter. It's shake-proof. What's inside? There is a lot of material, so the box might get a bit heavy, but we'll see why. Again, on top, in the middle, you have some rulebooks and this cardboard. There's again a designated space for it. It will not slide because there are cutouts, so it has its spot. Where shall we start? Yes. Let's go from the factions and the minis. So there are 7 kind of identical, keeps. What do? They hold the miniatures. I hope you can see it. They hold each and every miniature. They have this very cool looking acrylic doors with there's a cutout in the shape of, now maybe you can see it, cutout in the shape of a shield. So that's how you can open them, and then you can access the figures. But as well, for each figure there are the appropriate cards. So also by a divider type of cards which you will need for that specific faction. Where are the tokens, you ask me? They are in the bottom layer. Again, this is a special mechanism. You slide it, there's a little clicking, so it will not shake off. You can open it, and there they are. There are all the little tokens, cardboard tokens you need for that specific miniature. Everything divided, so you'll have them neatly sorted. If you put them away nicely, then they will stay there in place. Again, you can shake it as much as you like it. It will stay in place, except the cards, of course. How do you access the miniature? Well, you take off the bottom part, and then you open the doors, and then you can just pull out the figure. There's like this little fingers cut out of wood, and they hold the miniature in place. So again, it will not fall out as hard as I shake. So you have 7 of these. Each and every box is engraved, so you know which faction is inside. So there are 7 identical ones, as I said. You have a ton of card holders again for all the many cards with dividers, fitting premium sleeved cards. So these sleeves are a tiny bit larger, maybe you can see it. It's also no problem if you're even a bit longer. There's, I think, 2mm or 3mm gap to the top, all fine. You have 2 empty card trays again for discard and draw piles. It's up to you. They stack on top of each other, so you can have them like that. So maybe you have the draw pile, the discard pile here. It's up to you how you want to use them. More decks of cards, various cards here, dividers. You just have them in here as you like them. You have token holders, 2 identical ones. They come with an acrylic lid again, so you can see what's inside. You can take this lid off and then you can access them. I showed you in detail cam. There's this little cutout which goes below the point where they're held, so even if you have to go to the lowest one, you just easily pull them out. It's not an issue to access the bottom ones. So it's just super easy if you have it in your hands. It's not fiddly at all. And you have all the cardboard hex tiles, again sorted. But you have the general ones, you have the castles here, you have the central one with the gate, and I think this one, these types of the different castles. So they're all, again, sorted with the matching engraving. I mean, you see it from the side what goes in there, but it's good to know. You have more card holders. You have these ones with the special insignia here on top. They have 2 lids, the gold ones and the gray ones, and again cut out on the bottom, so easy access. But there's a special feature here. There's this little piece of wood. Maybe go to the detail cam again. There's this little piece of wood. If you pull it out, slide it down and push it back in, then on the bottom there's this little finger, which will basically then keep the whole card tray in an angle. So it makes you much easier to pull cards from, instead of having the bottom aligned with your table, but now you have space to put your finger in it and grab the cards you need. And again, you just pull this finger, push it up, pull it back in, and you can store it again into the game box. They just slide in here, and that's this card tray. Then we have this little tray, again with a special miniature, again held by finger joints. The special, this is nice. I think you will love this one, matching like in the style of the game card backs. Let me grab a card for you if I find one. Yeah. So we try to imitate this one from the card. This one here again, a small little tray for this volcano here, and appropriate cards. For the large cardboard tiles, you have this larger tray, again half shield here, just to add a little play with it. Oops, again not glued appropriately, I see. This is, so I mean we have 2 identical trays of these for the castles. Again, finger joints to lock them in place, and then you have the appropriate cards here with nice cutouts matching the game. If I wouldn't have been so clumsy, then this wouldn't have come out. But you have these plastic castle tokens here. This is just basic token trays. You sort them as you like it. They're identical. There's plenty of space again. And I think there's the last cool thing. This is a huge block. What might it do? This is a dice tower. So you take out the top part here and you slide it on top. And now you have a cool looking dice tower. So what can it do? It can roll dice for you, but we try to make it into the castle theme here. So you have our logo here as an insignia. This is a separate part, so it's nicely built in. You have the gate here, and again, the fist engraved on the bottom here of the dice tray, and just super easily slides off. There is also already some damage on the castle walls. You see some bricks, some shooting holes from the castle. Basically take them off, slide them together, and then you have a compact dice tower. Back goes into the box. Yeah, this is a big box. There are plenty of trays. It's a bit trickier to assemble. I mean, this will take for sure 2-3 hours to put everything together. If you're more experienced, if you have assembled already a few of our organizers, of course, then it's faster. But be aware, this is a complex organizer, so don't be afraid if it will fill one of your evenings to assemble it. But if you need any help, guidance, just send us a message on Discord, on Facebook, on Instagram, on email, whatever, and then we'll try to get back to you as fast as possible. If you write into our Discord server, then there's a help channel, and it might be that someone else is faster than us and can jump in and help you explain messed up some of the questions you may have. But that's about it for our huge Mage Knight organizer for the Ultimate Edition. Again, if you have any questions, just let me know. Either to any of these organizers or any of our old ones, if you're still considering something, but you're not sure how it works, how it will store something, if it fits sleeved cards, let me know. We have still till Sunday evening this promotion ongoing. Let me check if I can get it for you. Yeah, we have 2 pins. We have, first of all, every order gets a free glue. So you're covered with wood glue, so it's not an issue when you assemble it. So that comes with every order. Doesn't depend the order value. If you order and your order value, including shipping, goes above 85 euros, you get this beautiful Laserox pin. So you can put it on your bag, your gaming accessories, gaming bag, or just regular bag, on your t-shirt, whatever you like it, collect them. So this is one pin we have designed, and then of course we have made another one, which is a bit, I think, more fancy, but there are still debates about it. If your order value goes above 150 euros, then you get both of them. So there are 2 different designs, and this is the other one. I hope you can see it. Yeah, so this is like with our slogan, stay organized, how we imagine the little ox from Laserox standing there and giving you advice on how to store your games if you have any questions. And of course, if you order and your order value is above 200 euros, then you get free shipping on your complete order. So you might want to ask your gaming buddy if he has something on his wish list, order it together, and you get it delivered with free shipping anywhere in the world. Maybe it in Australia, United States, or in Germany, in Hungary, it doesn't matter. I think that's it for today. There's a little gimmick. I had it on my desk yesterday, and I want to show you. We were asked if we have a Wingspan organizer. We said yes, of course we do have one. Do you have a dice tower for it? Because there is a cardboard, we want a wood one. So we just went ahead and designed a small little dice tower for Wingspan, with the little bird on top of it. Maybe this camera angle is better. Yeah, so on the chimney there's a little bird. Of course, it's easily disassemblable, and then you just store them together like this, and it fits into your original space, which was designed for Wingspan dice tower and a cardboard one. So simple. It will be also up on our web shop the coming days or next week, something like that. Okay, I see there are no more questions. Thank you for participating. Thank you for watching us. Have a wonderful weekend. And again, if you have any questions, any comments, remarks, let us know. We are happy to talk. We really miss the physical Spiel, connecting with you all, talking to you in person, saying hello, getting your wish lists. what organizers we should do next. So again, if you have, we'll for sure make a survey in the next week or two, sending out to you guys in our newsletter what organizers you would love to see next, because yeah, we want to create stuff which you also like. There's an active design kitchen in our Discord, so if you want to participate in how we think, what features we want to incorporate in our designs, join in there. If you want to join our beta testers, we have a beta testing group also in our Discord. So we want to, before we launch a product, we want to send it out to some of you guys. Usually the conditions are that you have the specific game we designed the product for, and then just sign up there, and then if you post an advert that we need someone, you can comment, and then if we pick you, we will send to you, and then we go from there. Then that's it for today. Thank you again, and have an awesome weekend.